Hi, it's Jake. We're back at it again with the potentially final installment of the Quadeca series for the foreseeable future. We got the vinyl D-sides for I Didn't Mean to Haunt You that I said I was going to follow up with yesterday. Again, big thank you to Mango for re-uploading these. If you want to listen to them yourself, I will link to his video in the description. But let's get into this. First track is Seeing the Light. Yeah, okay, so a minute in, and I'm feeling kind of similar to how I did about the From Me to You tracks, in that this song feels like a bottled up feeling, but I'm really curious to see if it is going to, in the remainder of the track runtime, do more. I'm getting some kind of muffled, it almost sounds like crying in the background. You know, it started very natural at the beginning, but towards this later end of the track, the sound has moved to a point where it is far more alien than what it once was. I think I mentioned before when I was listening to the From Me to You Deluxe that I felt like I was getting a bottled sense of stillness, and that's certainly what I was getting at the beginning here, but now it feels so foreign that it's almost a discomforting feeling as we lull ourselves out of the back end of this track. All done with no vocals, by the way, unless you count the muffled ones from earlier. Someone made a comment on the last video actually saying that they'd like to see what Quadeca could do with a movie score, and I am inclined to agree with them. Huh. This song is giving me very similar feelings to Picking Up Hands right now.
Last time I drop you off and drive home. Something about that drive home. From the car to the door. One of these will be the last time I drop you off and drive home. Last time I do. Last time.
Yeah, I stand by what I said at the beginning of that song. I was getting a very similar vibe to Picking Up Hands, while this song does certainly sound much more incomplete. Uh, yeah, that makes sense to me. Granted, it was left as a D-side, but I really would have liked to hear what that song would have been fleshed out. That one kind of interested me a little bit more than the first one. Um, Especially because you had those like almost coming from the other side type vocals in the background. Next track is Spring, Summer, Fall. Let's get it. Okay. I like that little thing right there, how it had those little kind of jingly bells, but they keep increasing in speed as it goes. That's something I could pick out, yeah. Yeah, so as I'm getting through these tracks and after this third one here, these tracks certainly feel like a nice little reward, for the people who went out of their way to get the album. Um, but it's hard for me to really feel a sense of like supreme enthusiasm for them because I'm more left with just this feeling of like, well, that would have been really cool if that was fleshed out. That would have been really cool if that was fleshed out. Um, but not from a negative stance per se. I think the concepts here that are being presented are really cool, and I'm sure there was 100% justifiable reasons to go with what was actually picked for the album rather than these tracks. But just thinking again of what could have been done with them is an interesting thought. And it honestly, it kind of takes away from me being able to be truly enthused by these. And we get Dust Cutter again, which is one of my favorites off the Scrapyard. And, forgive me, I didn't have all my information at the time of listening to that, but I had a feeling it was off this thing, and not a different project. Same with, have you tried that thing where you be human? That song, I might be butchering the title. I will be curious to find if this is a different mix of Dust Cutter. I could just be gaslighting myself, but I could swear the vocals were a little more in your face on the Scrapyard mix, but maybe I'm just not remembering correctly. That's still one of my favorites, by far. I love Dust Cutter. The only one that really blows it out of the water for me is Easier, but holy Christ, yeah, that's still good. I can't really I'm not 100% with my finger on the money if the mixing is any bit different. I think I might just be gaslighting myself a little bit, but whether the mix is or isn't different, it's still as good as it has been. Dust Cutter. Gone, gone. That's cool. That's a nice way to start it off. Like stuttering. Okay. Consider this my first point on this collection of tracks where I'm like truly kind of just not shocked, but that was a switch up that I wasn't expecting from the intro. I need to run that one back because that beat has a bit of a groove to it. Yeah, I really like what the instrumental is doing here on this song. Just the unexpected pauses, stutterings, slowing down of the beat. Like, it is kind of subverting my expectations a bit. And vocally, I mean, he's kind of muffled there in the background. I'm expecting him at any moment to break through, but I'm also not expecting it because if I'm expecting it, then it's not gonna freaking happen. Just like if you were to put a verse on that song, what would it sound like and how does it come in? How does he switch from that background sound to the verse? I would be so interested to find out, but I don't think we're getting that. This kind of sounds like dark cave music in an old video game. Just so many of these sounds have like an 8-bit quality to them. Okay, maybe not 8-bit. Let's make the jump to maybe 64-bit. I'm so sorry if my chair is making noise on top of this. Is this what Death Grips sounds like to people who don't listen to Death Grips? I don't listen to Death Grips, that's why I'm asking.
Not ready for heaven. I don't think I even enjoy it. In that unspoken agreement, I couldn't trust it was true. It was soaking with doubt and weighed heavy on the clouds. That's a home that would haunt you.
Getting some cat interruptions. Was that it? Yeah, that was it for that song. Okay. That felt like more of an interlude to me, especially because it was kind of a departure of what we were hearing before it. Um, yeah, it was enjoyable. I didn't really pick too much up from the lyrics. I'm sure they could have been fleshed out a little more. But yeah. Next track is the Fractions of Infinity demo, which this one I'm actually really curious to hear because I really liked the song off the album and its originality. And that song was already very big in its production. And I just want to hear like what was changed to get it to be that big. Was it bigger before or was it less grand? I don't know. I want to see what this one sounds like. So let's get into it. What the heck? Okay. I am going to run that back just a little bit because I'm already kind of thrown with it. I had to check and make sure, but I was like, he doesn't start it with singing. He starts it with kind of like a prelude verse, right? And yeah, I checked. And that is correct. So it's starting way more broken than the original.
When's the last time you let yourself think? I might be gone every time I let myself blink. I would
So
say I was
there's
surprised on the
wow.
82nd time. When's the last
You know, I gotta let this song develop more, but it's taking a much lighter tone, or maybe a less boldened tone, because I feel like there's less layering in the vocals, and his voice is just a little softer than in the original. This is very interesting, to say the least. These. Oh. Wow. Huh. I hate to pause there, but before we get to the climax or the payoff, yeah, what I'm really picking up on this version of Fractions is that it is much more, like I said, softer in its approach, almost similar to a Dust Cutter or an Easier, versus the very bold nature of the original production. And I'm really curious to find out, is the Sunday service choir going to be here or not? Because I think they were a very smart addition to it, and I want to see how he's going to fill the space without them. Wow. You know, I might need to hold my words a little bit here too. Um because on this back end too, it's sounding a little bit more like the closing track too, with just all the distortion and kind of chaotic nature of the track, where the original sounded a lot more tighter too. Yeah, let's keep it going. Yeah, I don't think we're getting Sunday service at all here. Which, wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that one's really messing with me because it's almost this is an entirely different song without the presence of Sunday service choir and like just this more stripped back presentation of it. It feels entirely different. Um I hate to say like I don't feel as elevated as I did by the original, but that's really the feeling I kind of got. Like that song was lifting you up, whereas like this song you're kind of falling down. You're falling into whatever it is. Um, yeah, I liked it though. I did like it. Um, I'd say I prefer though the original album version, but this is definitely cool to hear because it gives you an idea of what the process is like. It's like I have to appreciate this because it got us to where the album was. So yeah, no complaints from me, man. Hello? Is that it? Oh, okay, that's it. There is like still 20 seconds left of the track, so I'm worried he's gonna come in at the last second and just be like, "Hey." Um, but yeah, no, for those decent. Oh god, that is getting spookier. Okay, I don't want to look at that anymore. Okay, final thoughts here. After these D sides, I think they are a nice addition of tracks that is certainly a great reward to people who went out of their way to get the vinyl record. I think they apply a lot of context into what it took to create that record and where the sound could have went sonically. However, it didn't, so it's just nice context. Um, as far as these tracks go, outside of like something like Dust Cutter, they're incomplete. They're meant to be. They're not anything I think I'd necessarily go back to, but I'm appreciative to check them out nonetheless. Thank you to everybody who's kind of been pushing me along this little journey here to get through the Quadeca discography. It's been a fun trip. And yeah, at this point, that only leaves one thing, and that's do I want to rank the Quadeca discography? We'll see about that. I probably wouldn't do D sides. I would do deluxe tracks though, but busy man, busy days. With that being said, take care. It's been a fun day. Love. Good night. It's been fun. Love again. Bye. We got a little bit of bonus content at the end for sticking around. I have a quick question to ask you guys to confirm that I am not crazy. This album art is a face. One eye, one nose, one mouth. Silhouette, 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 face, face, face. Can we all agree on that? Thank you.